Rise and shine on Australia's Vision Christian Radio.
It's your Tuesday podcast from Rise and Shine.
It was a big day today, Phil.
It was a big day. In the background, we had Andy running between studios. You don't know about everything that's happening in the background, but
There were some IT challenges, Phil, but you know what? We adapted, we improvised, and we overcame.
We did, because there'd been an IT update. Who hates an IT update?
Yes.
It never works.
Well, I don't want to generalise, but this one didn't work, that's for sure. But anyway, we got in here this morning whistling away. Oh, this is going to go. Easy day, easy day. Oh, hello. Computer not working.
Computer not compute. So as we got into the show, it became clear that not everything was working as it should.
No.
And so we sent Andy off. One of the fixes was Andy going and loading things from a different studio.
And it
which
worked.
he did beautifully.
Thank you, Phil.
No complaints. Off he goes. I say, Andy, would you mind?
And I didn't trip over in the hallway. And you know why, Phil? Because yesterday those 28 balloons from Feed the Hungry Day, which had not been removed, I popped them all yesterday and put them in the bin.
Yeah, okay.
So I removed the trip hazard yesterday, luckily, because today I could run to the studio next door.
It was very lucky. That's a whole other story, is that this studio gets decorated for events like Takeaway Hunger Day, which was last week. And we got in here, I get in here, I think it was 5:15 the following day. And I was like, well, we can't have two. This makes no sense for there to be balloons in the studio.
It was
the next
illogical.
day.
It was illogical.
It was illogical. No one had cleaned it up. So I just pulled it. But at that time in the morning, you don't have time to actually properly dispose of them. I assumed it would happen. I assumed wrong.
That's right.
Almost a week later, there's still like 20, there was a lot of balloons.
So I fixed the problem. And you'll be happy to know, Phil, I wore glasses and earphones to protect my ears and my eyes whilst I was popping. Yes.
Did you really put headphones on?
Well, yeah, I was listening to music. But
Okay, right.
But I also, I didn't want I didn't want too much loud noise. So I was in a little room. They'd been shoved in a little room.
Yeah, they had.
And I just popped them all in a very safe manner.
Well, good on you, because I cut them. That's how I pop balloons. I cut the tops of them so they don't make a noise.
Wow.
It's not foolproof, though. Like sometimes you get the odd pop. And I had imagined, because you came down, I think Neil was still recording or he had finished.
And I was popping.
And I was imagining just what he must be thinking is going on out there. I'm being attacked.
I've never heard of cutting the top off a balloon before. Never heard of it.
It's a parent safe. It's a child safe thing because it doesn't make as much noise.
Yeah, I never heard of that one.
Oh, I could have shown you, but I delegated the task.
Well, I quite enjoyed popping it.
Did you? Was it therapeutic?
It is therapeutic. Pop, 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 pop. I had the scissors.
I hate it. I don't like the pop.
Yeah.
It's it's got that moment every time.
Scares you, does it, Phil?
Well, not in like a I can't get to sleep sort of a scared sort of thing, but that
You
moment.
don't like the shock.
I don't like the shock.
There you go.
Anyway, look at that. See, if you hadn't listened to the podcast, you wouldn't know all of that information
There you go.
about the backstory to what's happening behind the
But
scenes.
we got there and the show rolled on and now you've got a whole podcast to listen to.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Enjoy the podcast.
Thanks for streaming the Rise and Shine Daily Podcast. Please subscribe to the show, rate it on your favourite podcast platform, and share the link on your socials. It all helps get the word out.
Good morning. It's your terrific Tuesday and you're waking up with Rise and Shine. Morning, Andy.
Morning, Phil. Don't you love that song?
I just want to keep listening to it, actually.
Gets me in the mood every time.
It's a very good song. You know what? The other day I heard the old theme song for Rise and Shine playing in the car, and all of a sudden I'm just wanting to do the top of the day. What's going on? And I'm saying to Murray, "Good morning." It is one of those songs. Some of these songs just make you want to get up and get moving in the morning.
It does. So if you're just joining us, good morning. So glad you've tuned into Vision today. And you know what? It's going to be a great day today.
I'm going to call it a terrific day. There you go. We're going to take it up.
Terrific
Good
Tuesday.
day, terrific Tuesday.
There we go.
Or could it be?
Why not?
Well, it is terrific because coming up later, we have a wonderful guest from the beaches of Sydney.
Oh, she's the assistant pastor of St. Mark's Anglican Church in Freshwater, Sydney, Phil. And I don't know about you, that just sounds nice to me. That just sounds like a plum posting that I'd
You're
like to
pretty
take
keen.
up.
I know. I'm struggling to keep Andy in the studio when he knows that sort of church is available.
That's right. So if the assistant needs an assistant pastor, well, I will put my hand up and maybe I can broadcast from Freshwater. But yeah, she's a mum, she's a wife, she's got little kids. She's also a podcaster and a minister Busy woman, Phil, and she's going to talk to us about how to be a disciple in the midst of our busy lives.
Oh, I love that. Also, I need to have a bit of a chat. I need some help. The school that my kids go to, I actually, here on Rise and Shine 2 years ago, I said I was redeemed from a certain school event. Mm-hmm. My kids had finished primary school. I thought I'd put it away. I'd locked the door. I'd thrown away the key. I'm never coming back to it.
You thought you were free.
I thought I was free,
Did you
Andy.
rejoice in your freedom,
I was
Phil?
so excited. You know when you're like, oh, well, I worry that my kids are finished with this thing at home. No, I was happy as Larry that I didn't have to do this anymore. It came back. Last week it came back. I'm not going to tell you yet what it is. We'll touch on it a little bit. I need
like
some
to
help.
hear about that.
Yeah, there you go. Not long. But next up, yesterday we chatted to Brennan McPherson and John Schaefer from Light of the World. It's a wonderful 2D animation of Jesus' life. It's coming out in cinemas next week. Well, once we'd finished the conversation, you and we pitched something to them.
We did.
Well, I particularly pitched it pretty hard, actually.
You put yourself forward, Phil.
I really did. And I want to bring you that. We kept the rolling happening behind the scenes. We're going to play you a bit of that chat coming up next.
Rise and Shine on Vision Christian Radio.
It's going to be good, Phil. I'm really looking forward to this. Hopefully, lots of people will go to the movies and watch it and support it. And I think it's a good one to take friends along to as well.
Oh, definitely. Look, I have had a sneak peek beforehand, and it's seen through the eyes of John. So we know he's a disciple that Jesus loved.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a little bit like The Chosen in that they are making up the backstory and some of the other bits to make it have some interesting context.
You've got to fatten the story out a little bit, haven't you, to make a 2-hour movie or an hour and a half movie out of something.
If you just took the bits that Jesus said, that's right. So this one, for kids, it's from the eyes of John, but you get to see him walking through the life of Jesus, which is pretty fun. So we got to chat yesterday to Brennan McPherson and John Schaefer, the director and producer from the movie. And you can head over to the Rise and Shine podcast to hear that whole conversation. And really wonderful to chat to the guys. But once we're off air, Andy, we couldn't resist.
You tried to pitch yourself, Phil, because Phil wanted to muscle in on a bit of Hollywood action as a singer, as a performer. So you suggested to them perhaps we could do a musical.
Let's have it. Well, during the interview, a musical came up.
It came
because
up.
it's not a musical. And I had said during the interview, had you considered that?
Yes.
Then we could be in it, couldn't we, Andy? I would love to be in a musical. So here you go. This is after that we'd said goodbye. The interview was over. This is what I pitched to them. Thanks, guys. And look, if you ever do a musical version, we would love to audition for that, wouldn't we, Andy?
Speak for yourself, Phil.
I wouldn't.
Speak for
Totally.
yourself.
We'll do whatever it takes. You need an Aussie character.
We got time right now.
You do. These are a few of my favourite things.
There you go. There you go.
If you ever need, I've always wanted to be a Disney princess, but it would be better to be someone in the Bible. So
Well, if you make a Samson cartoon, which I think you need to make, Samson's one of the best stories in the Bible. I'll be the Samson voice. How's
Will
that?
you? Okay,
Yeah.
do your best Samson
Sounds
voice
good.
then. Go on.
Well, what part?
What
you know?
will you?
Why, Delilah?
So,
Because when I was really, a little bit younger than I am now, I want to try a musical about Samson. I thought it'd be a great musical because it's just such a great story, and there's some great
and
songs
having
in
him
there.
like sing in vibrato as he dies as well. Like,
Totes.
Well,
Totes.
so there you go. That's Brendan McPherson and John Schaefer. It sounded like they were pretty keen, actually.
That was the pitch.
That was the pitch. We had, like, if you've got 1 minute to pitch a musical, and Andy, you stole my thunder a little bit. You're taking them off onto, I thought we had a shot. But Samson would make a great musical.
With the Samson, I think it would, Phil. Just
I
putting
reckon
it out there.
I'm putting out Esther. Like in fact, Millie and I have part written in our heads. Like we
Okay.
have gone through, because there's quite a bit that happens in the story of Esther. That would make a good musical.
I can see that.
Don't you think there's
could,
crowd
You could have the wedding scene.
Yes. La, la.
The sort of the audition scene, the wedding the beauty pageant scene.
All the girls, like a pillow fight sort of a scene.
And then, of course, the drama after that with
the bad
Mordecai
guy.
and Haman. Yeah, I can see that.
Don't you reckon?
Yeah, we just gave an idea to someone, I think.
Well, we could do it. I think we might need a Rise and Shine musical.
Oh, there you go.
If you wanted to pitch to be part of it, you could let us know which part of the musical. Firstly, which book should we do? I'm pitching Esther.
Yep.
You're obviously going Samson.
Well, I'm
There's
happy
more.
with both of them. I love
You'd
both
do
those
that?
stories.
Who
I mean,
would you be in the Esther story? Who would you?
Who would I
Would you
be?
be Haman?
I think
the bad guy?
I'd make a good Mordecai. I
You'd
think I'd be a nice
want to be the
Mordecai.
wise hero.
There you go. There you go.
Andy pitches
Pacing
him.
up and down outside the gate. Yeah, I can do that. I can
I
play
reckon
that
being
role.
the bad person is always who you want to be in a musical.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
I don't think like that, Phil.
Don't you?
We need to dig deeper into this. So you see yourself as the villain in every story.
Well,
Okay.
that's just, I just think.
Let's try and understand
it's
that.
because it's so countercultural to who I am as a person.
Oh, is that what's going on, Phil? I'm sure all of our psychology and our psychology students right now are trying to analyse Phil. Oh, that's interesting. Why does Phil want to be the villain?
That's true, actually. My Bella's in psychology. Bella, maybe you can
Bella,
help
are
me
you
at home.
listening? Call us, Bella. Explain these things to us, these mysteries.
But anyway, that was our conversation. We say all that to say the movie's coming out, Light of the World.
Worth a look.
Worth a look. And next time, if there's a musical version, we might be in it. Who
You
knows?
put your hand up. Look, it could be bigger than Ben-Hur's backyard, Phil. You never know. You never know.
Does Ben-Hur have a good
He must have had a massive backyard. Huge one.
That's not even a saying. Anyway.
It is as of today. Terrific Tuesday.
Terrific Tuesday. Anything goes on Terrific Tuesday. We are next up. I need some help, Andy. I don't always come to you for help.
No, you don't.
But I'm going to go to Australia.
This is a world first.
I'm going to Australia for help.
Ooh.
It's a Terrific Tuesday, but it's not what I had imagined. If you told me a few months ago what I would be, my family would be doing this Tuesday, I would not have picked this.
Okay.
I will tell you about it next up.
Brought to you by the generosity of Vision family members across Australia and around the world. The Rise and Shine podcast.
I want to say that all is well and good, but 2 years ago on Rise and Shine, so I just started,
Yep.
we were celebrating, we were looking at my daughter Millie was finishing primary school.
Yep.
And I remember there was this time of the year came up and a certain event happens at primary school. And I remember people ringing in and saying, do you think you're going to miss this when Millie finishes primary? Like, are you going to be sad when this event is finished?
And what was your answer to that question?
I said, no, I was sad when she finishes primary school, but I'm going to be all good with never having to do this event again. It's quite an ordeal for a mum.
Yep.
And yet it has popped back up. Last week we got a note. Well, actually, I didn't even get a note. You don't get notes at high school. The kid said, Mum, we're doing this. And I was like, are you serious? I'd been redeemed from this as
It's
a mum.
back.
It's back now.
And we better also say it's also a dad issue as well.
Well, it is
There are stay-at-home dads as well.
In my family,
who wrestle with
it's got
this.
no problem. My husband he's never touched this, never will touch it.
Sure.
So, and did you? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but right now there are stay-at-home dads who are also wrestling with this
100%.
whole issue, Phil, and it is something that can be a little bit of a problem.
It can be a problem, but for me, I thought I'd been redeemed from it. And that is Book Week. It's back in my house, and I don't know why, but it makes me think of this song.
Okay.
Toy Story. But it is one of those events that you either love and you get 100% into, or it's a lot of pressure as a mum. And so our high school has decided, let's bring it back. Let's
really?
have all the high school kids, grades 7 to 12, dress up as Book Week characters.
Wow.
And I thought that I had been redeemed from this because I find it quite hard.
You thought you were free.
I definitely thought I was free.
You're not free.
I am not free indeed.
It's back, Phil.
It's back. And so yesterday, what was I doing? I was running around the shops trying to find Book Week costumes, ears, indeed, for my grade 12 daughter.
So if anyone is listening right now, and maybe it's been a few years since your kids were at school, talk us through Book Week, Phil. The kids have to dress up as a character?
They do. It's bigger than Ben-Hur. So
Wow.
it is now. I thought it was just like, when your first kid's going through and they say, dress up as a favourite book character, they say. It'll be fun, they say. And as a mum, you're like, oh, here you go. I've got a dress up of Elsa in the cupboard.
Yep.
Pop it on. Oh, that doesn't do.
Okay.
Apart from the fact that there are 50 million Elsas who rock up at prep.
Okay.
But there are mums, in fact, friends of mine, who would spend weeks making elaborate costumes out of cardboard boxes and then they parade around the school. So,
Can you talk me through that, Phil? Why would someone spend so much time on a costume? Like, what's the win?
Yeah, for the kids. It's for the children,
But I thought it was about encouraging them to read. How does that encourage them to read?
No, it doesn't. Well, you're supposed to bring the book with you,
Okay.
theoretically. In the end, after 3 children going through primary, we got to the point where I was like, if it's a character any character from anything, even a TV show, I'm with that. Like I
You
I
don't
threw
care.
the book out the window and just was like, if it's a costume and it fits you and you're happy to wear it all day, that's all. that's my criteria.
So the parents who spend a long time making these costumes, do you think this is a competitive thing that they want to have the best costume in the school?
Well, there are prizes at stake.
Oh,
And so
okay.
for those of us who are competitively minded,
Okay.
you could easily veer that direction.
So some really go there, do they?
They are.
They want their kid to win the prize.
They are. Yeah, look, there was one time for Josh, I got the cardboard boxes out. I made him a transformer.
Oh, that's cool.
It was actually.
Did you paint it?
Well, I photocopied, I got pictures of the sides of it and we printed it out, stuck it on a box.
Okay.
So that was the best I ever did.
That sounds pretty
That was
impressive.
a pretty big year that year.
Was he happy as a transformer?
He was happy as a transformer.
Was he sad to take the costume off at the end of the day and go back to normal again?
Yeah, that's right. He no longer had superpowers. Can you imagine a primary school teacher, the amount of energy that would come in the classroom when everyone's dressed up as superheroes for the day?
Be cray-cray.
It must be cray-cray for those poor teachers. Anyway.
But maybe they enjoy it. Maybe they enjoy the energy.
I'm sure. Well, that is
Maybe they ride that wave.
Kids.
I don't know.
The next day you're like, this is a sleeping day. We're all on the ground. We're just having a rest. But there you go. Costume dress-ups. My question to you, Australia, is have you ever done it last minute? What's your best last-minute costume that you've had to create? I've got one or two. I think youth camps is probably where my shining happened with last minute. You know, when you're on camp and they're like, here, you've got a black paper bag and some gaffer tape, make a costume.
Oh, yes.
That's probably where
You mean maybe
a
black plastic bag? I haven't seen black paper bags.
Sorry.
I wish I had. That sounds like a cool idea, a black paper bag.
Plastic might be better, actually.
I'd like to carry my lunch around in a black paper bag. That'd be cool.
Would you? I'll see what I can do for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyway.
brown's good too, but I think black would be kind of really edgy. I mean, I'm in black today. Today is the black day.
You are
The black outfit.
There you go. Well, there you go. Book week is back at my place. If you've been wrestling with it, we'd love to hear, and maybe we can have a bit of a group counselling session
think we
this
need to.
morning. I clearly need some help. But also, if you had a last-minute costume that you've popped together, we'd love to hear your story. You can also jump over onto Facebook at Rise and Shine, our Facebook page. There's a conversation happening there. We'll bring you updates throughout the morning. Next up, though, we do have our Bible story sound off.
We do.
It's heating up a little bit. You're on Rise and Shine. What are you thinking?
It's not an easy one, but it's an interesting one.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me Vision's breakfast show is now available around the clock and on demand? Incredible! The Rise and Shine podcast. Rise and Shine.
Are you ready for a challenge? Listen to the mystery sound, correctly name the Bible story, and win a great prize. Sounds easy, but is it? Rise and Shine's Bible Story Sound Off.
That's right. This is a game which is pretty exciting. We have a time machine. It goes back in time, sucks out a sound. Your job is to match the sound to the story.
And I've got one thing to say, Phil. It's time for someone to solve this mystery today. Maybe you've never called us before. Maybe you've never played the game before, but you always listen and enjoy it. Today could be your day.
Look at that.
This could be your time to shine, Phil, to shine.
Rise and Shine.
There you go.
Hey,
Let's have a listen, Phil. What is the sound?
That's it.
Easy.
Easy? You got
Someone knows the answer.
Someone knows. Well, this is what it's not. I'm going to help you out with the nots. So this is the great answers, though.
Yeah, I think it's the Centurion chariot coming along towards Peter and himself going along past the body of water nearby where he got baptized when he said, "Well, there's water here. What
Ethiopian eunuch.
Joseph being thrown into the cistern and the lid put on top after they took the coat of many colours off.
The eighth plague of locusts. All right. Well, here's a verse from Ezekiel.
Oh.
And behold, the glory and brilliance of the God of Israel was coming from the way of the east, and his voice was like the sound of many waters, and the earth shone with his glory.
How good is that?
They were all very good answers.
I mean, they were all wrong. They were fantastic
But they were
guesses.
excellent. Excellent answers.
And you could be next. As Andy says, today's your time to shine.
It could be your day.
All you have
step up.
is try and match that sound.
Sorry, Phil, do it again.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
What do you reckon?
All you got to do is just step up, make a call, 1-800-316-316. If you think you know the answer, we can guarantee that is the sound from a Bible story.
In the Bible, which story is it? Give us a call now.
The Rise and Shine podcast.
I can see I've got Abigail here.
One of the many passages in the Gospels where it says, but I'm going to choose Luke 6:12, where Jesus goes away by himself to pray at night.
Don't you think that does sound like you can just imagine Jesus
Yeah.
praying beneath that sound?
So what are you hearing there, Abigail? Those sounds.
I'm hearing like the sounds of the night and like it just sounds like it's nighttime.
That's almost poetic, Abigail.
So
I
you
like
imagine
that.
Jesus there and he's praying under a tree. He's under a tree in my head. I don't know why. That is beautiful. It's such a beautiful picture. And then in the middle of that picture, this sound comes. And I feel bad because it's just so gorgeous.
Abigail, we don't want to discourage you on your journey, though, because I think there was real poetry to that.
There was.
To that read.
And I feel more peaceful just thinking of that scene. So,
Let me ask you, Abigail, when you imagine Jesus praying, do you imagine him sort of in a big open meadow or under a tree, as Phil said, or maybe amongst some rocks? What are you visualising?
I'm seeing him like on top of the hill, like or on a mountain, like in a high place. And just like on his knees and like maybe on a rock or with some grass around him. Yeah.
all of the
I'm
above.
hearing you, Abigail. I'm hearing
She's
you.
got it. Abigail, brilliant. It should have been the right answer. It wasn't, but try again. It's very, very good.
Thanks for calling.
Abigail.
Have a great day, huh?
Bye.
You too.
Michael, what do you reckon it might be?
I was listening to it in the background. It sounds a bit like frogs, like, in the seven plague, the plague of
It
frogs.
does sound a bit frog-like. Let's have a listen. Yeah, they would have been noisy. You don't think about that with the plagues.
Which plague are the frogs? Which number?
Oh, that's very particular. I don't know. I wouldn't know. We don't know, do we? No, we don't know. We don't know which one, but it is one of the plagues. Is it the right answer, though, for this sound? It's not, but it's a brilliant guess, and it made me think that would have been very noisy there in Egypt during the plagues.
Well, I can tell you it was the second plague.
The second, very early on. Mm-hmm. Those
Number
froggies.
2 plague. The old frogs just turned up.
I would have hated that.
Because it was bad, but it wasn't as bad. It got worse. A few frogs, it's not as bad as cane toads, for example.
No, if they were cane
or
toads.
boils and things,
No,
those nasties.
Plague of frogs would have been very riveting,
I need a kalundung.
And look, who knows? Maybe the early French ancestors were there and they were probably just loving it. It's like, a few frogs is good.
Dinner is served.
On toast, in pasta, you name it.
Oh, dear. Thanks for contributing this morning.
You're welcome.
Bye. Lee, what do you reckon it might be?
Wow, you know my name. Good morning.
Good morning.
Val and Dee. I think that must be God was drying up the Red Sea for the Israelites to walk through the Red Sea.
Yes.
Yes.
That is a very good guess.
It's a very good answer.
Let's have a listen. See, God is drying up the Red Sea. There was a big wind. We know of that. Look, it's a great guess. It's not the right one. Everyone's disappointed because it was such a great guess. But well done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Have a lovely day.
You too.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Oh, there you go. The sound lives another day, Andy.
I noticed, Phil, you couldn't even hit the wrong button for
I am
Abigail because her
so-
answer was so good. You couldn't do it, could you?
Look, I'll do it now. No, I do feel bad because they're great. They're all great guesses.
It was almost like she wrote a novel about
Well,
that
imagine
sound. You know?
Jesus. He's outside in the wilderness. He did go away to pray a lot.
Yeah.
You hear a lot about Jesus taking himself, recharging with the Lord.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful picture.
It is.
It is, but it's not the right
Not
one.
the answer today, though, which means the game lives on, Phil.
It does. Your job at home is to try and match that. You've got 24 hours. This time tomorrow, we'll be playing again. This is the sound. Watch the story. Try again tomorrow for the Bible story sound off on Rise and Shine.
We're caffeinated and ready to face the day.
This is Rise and Shine on Vision.
Jason Gray, Be Kind. That's a good Tuesday thought.
It's an awesome song, Phil.
It is an awesome song. You know what else is awesome is all of the mums and dads across the country who are digging in to Book Week and creating these wonderful costumes for their kids without complaining. I may complain a little bit.
It's a big job. I'm just hoping, Phil, it leads to kiddies reading books.
Oh, well,
that's the win I'm looking for.
Oh, look at you, you wonderful parent, you. That is of the goal, I think, of Book Week. But if you missed it earlier, my kids, I thought I was redeemed from Book Week and never had to do it again because my kids entered high school era, no Book Week to be found.
You'd washed your hands, Phil?
I was celebrating. I had like a little celebration party.
You'd moved on.
I'd moved on. And then last week, what comes home? Book Week. Book Week comes home. No!
It was sprung on you from the high school,
from the
place
high
you
school.
least expected the attack fell. It came at you.
It came at me with my grade 12 daughter. Yesterday I'm running out to try and find ears for a costume. So we've put the call out. When have you been stuck with a last minute costume? And I can see I've got Lee on the line. Lee, you've got a last minute costume story for us?
Yes. It was that last minute, and it was Fred Flintstone. Yeah, I know you liked them and Pebbles and Bagram, so I thought, it's such an easy one to do. So just brown paper, and you paint the things on. So very last minute, and what's available. So.
So was the character Fred, or did you do Pebbles,
Fred.
Bam Bam, or Barney?
No,
Who were you
Fred.
Dressing up as?
It was Fred, my son.
Oh, so he was Fred, was he?
You're in grade 2. I don't know that he loved it that much, but
But you loved it, didn't you?
It's honestly, it's whatever's easy is what I'm selling the kids at the costume.
it was amazing. Genius.
And you know what you could do with that? You could make a car, because they do run with their legs.
They do.
So you could get a nappy box.
Okay.
And that could be the car.
Oh, yeah.
I think we did a cutout, a side one, not a whole. Oh, we may have actually done the whole thing, 2 sides and together, Yeah, we did.
Yep.
Well done. That's right. It was a while ago. He's 30-something now, so he was grade 2 at the time. But I think it come my sister-in-law's, and she did a twin pack for her daughters, like a twin pack toilet set, and they were horrified, and you would be.
Let's take us back. Sorry, Lee. The kids are dressing up as what?
Well, my sister-in-law dressed hers up as a twin toilet roll pack. And
twin toilet roll pack.
There you go.
Now,
That's
that is
interesting.
innovative.
What book's that from, though, Lee? I'm just wondering about the novel. What was it?
I think it was very cruel.
I think that's when they go out of the book and the mum's like, I'm just going for a different costume.
It sounds like this fancy dress has just gone rogue. It's got nothing to do with reading books anymore. It's about the weird costume.
She could be listening today, so let's not talk about that. But the Fred Flintstone was very easy. I can recommend it to anybody. It was very last
There you
minute,
go.
so
My
thank
kids,
you.
if you're at home, Josh hasn't got a costume, actually. Fred Flintstone.
There
you
you
could
go.
make that
Yep.
Josh at home right now, grade 10.
Yep.
You'd be a cool kid.
Yes, and you've got that, or newspaper or something. I remember another one, we went to a party, but it was no costume from a book, but it was, he made an outfit out of newspaper, so just thinking of those things that we've got at hand.
If you had a newspaper nowadays, we would struggle.
If
we
Toilet
read
paper
them.
we've got though, but
Brown paper, okay.
that's very good.
Well, with the
isn't it?
Fred outfit too, did you draw the stubble on his face? Because Fred Flintstone always had that sort
Did
of,
he? Yeah.
2-day shadow or whatever you want to call
No,
it.
I think that
Bridge
would
too
have...
far.
You didn't do that?
Yeah, no, I don't. I can't think. I don't think we did that. No, I think I think we focused on the things that he could take off that wouldn't be too. And I don't think my son was really, party to this.
He didn't know who Fred Flintstone was.
That is the trick with kids' costumes, is they have to be for mine to be willing to go to school, and it has to be you can take everything off and they can look normal for the second half of the day. If they choose, if no one else is everyone else dressed up like me?
Yeah.
And then they'll just rip it off so you can look normal.
Okay, so you got to have your uniform underneath.
Or just normal.
Yes, and that's where the brown paper over the top, he could just dispose of that. So that was the only
Smart.
it was good, it worked. But anyway.
Lee, I love it. I particularly want to see this toilet creation, the toilet roll creation. That
The twin toilet rolls.
has piqued my imagination. Lee, thank you so much for giving us a call. Thanks for sharing. Bye.
It's the daily podcast of your favourite Aussie breakfast show, Rise and Shine.
And I had on my heart Melbourne this morning. So if you're waking up in Melbourne,
The whole city.
the whole city of Melbourne, like a big hug from us.
There you go.
I've got lots of family who live in Melbourne. Love Melbourne.
What is the weather today?
You want to
Phil?
know?
Talk me through it.
Okay, well, so I'm a Queenslander, well, actually from New Zealand originally, but we do tend to tease Melbourne for its changeable weather. Sorry, Melbourne, but it is probably changeable today. It's 14.9 degrees right now, which is not bad.
It's nice.
But it's going to be windy with rain, which sounds to me like a bit of a Melbourne-esque sort of a day. It's getting to 18 during the day. As you listen on DAB, so digital radio, if you've got friends in Melbourne, let them know. Citywide, brilliant coverage, crystal clear.
Yep.
If they just click on their digital devices or through the app, of course, but digital radio, brilliant.
Look up Vision. Well, I was in Melbourne last week, as you know, Phil, and I did experience that change in weather. One day it was sunny and blue, next day it was cloudy.
Yes.
I like it. I actually
fun.
like the changing thing.
Well, it's exciting.
And if it's, what is it now, 14 did you say right now? That's
14.9.
That's pretty nice. It was 3 degrees in the morning last week when I was there.
Do you know what it feels like?
Okay, 11.
7.
What?
It feels like 7. It feels like half of that.
I don't
That's
know.
where the feels like is important, because I'm sure the people in Melbourne are like, it's not 14 degrees. No, because it feels like 7.
This makes me even more skeptical about that.
No,
feels
it's
like.
brilliant.
But anyway.
Love a feels like.
So here we go, Phil. So I'm in Psalm chapter 5 and verse 3 says this, "My voice, Lord, you shall hear in the morning. In the morning I will direct it to you and I will look up."
I will look up.
It's an encouragement to pray in the morning.
It is, I would honestly say, I think that's the number one tip from my life that I've seen a change or an impact is when first thing in the morning, the first thing that I would do is to take that moment to just glorify God, to say, hey, good morning, God, you're with me, and declare over my day what I want to happen with God. And it makes a difference.
Phil's life tip.
That's my top tip for life, honestly. And if you can find a Bible and read even just a verse, it puts your head in the right perspective. The other option, I guess, is scrolling through Instagram and Facebook, which is not as good an option. So
it's not as good an option.
It's not as good an option.
But don't you love that word? I will look up.
I will.
The psalmist said, "I will look up," because that's what prayer is. We're looking up.
Everything in you wants to often look down or look inward or look to a person. I will look where? To God.
You found the podcast of Vision's breakfast show, Rise and Shine. Rise and Shine.
Right now, we're not playing a game. We are digging into the Word of God, but it should be fun because this is the Word of God that God has left. In our house, we call it the basic instructions before leaving Earth. And I was just thinking on that yesterday, Annie. This is why, as a Rise and Shine family, we take just a few minutes a day to encourage everyone to jump in and read their Bibles. It's because this is literally God's word to us, full of promises, wonderful promises to help us in life right now.
It is. And the book of James is a very practical book, Phil. It's the most practical New Testament book. I think the book of Proverbs in the Old Testament is probably the most practical book in the Old Testament. So I think I mentioned this the first time we touched on this last week, that Martin Luther, who brought that great revelation to the world that we're saved by faith and by grace only, that's all you need. He struggled with the book of James because he was like, I think this doesn't make sense because I believe in faith and faith alone. And obviously James is saying, well, faith without works is dead. And this concept, Luther apparently almost said, is this really, should it be in the Bible? He just couldn't deal with it. And that's fine because the Bible says we know in part, we prophesy in part. His revelation was faith only, and that set him free from all the legalism that he was exposed to as a young person. But anyway, so the book of James, Phil, is very practical. And today in chapter 2, what's your big takeaway?
Well, we're almost at the end of chapter 2. We're taking a while because there's no rush, right?
And it's so good.
And there's so much in there. So we made it yesterday. We did talk a lot about faith without good deeds is dead. And then it's got 2 examples of people in the Bible who lived this way. And one of them is none other than Abraham.
Oh, you're going to choose Abraham?
Oh, I was going to choose Rahab, but I thought he comes first.
I thought you'd definitely go Rahab.
Well, okay.
But I'm glad because I love Rahab. So
well,
you do
love
Abraham.
them both. Well, they're both wonderful people. And look, Abraham is going to be they're both in heaven. That's the thing when you're reading through the Bible stories. And sometimes we call them stories because they tell a story, but they're not made up. These are real people living real lives.
Yep.
And going through, they didn't know the end, but we see here in Hebrews 11, it tells us these great men and women of faith. It actually gives them sort of this moment of these guys did actually look ahead and saw us even now in the future, living in the grace that God has given us, and thought that's incredible. They were excited by it. But Abraham was here, and James uses Abraham as a bit of an illustration. He says, "Don't you remember that our ancestor Abraham was shown to be right with God by his actions when he offered his son Isaac on the altar?" And that is an incredible story where you see Abraham and God says to him, I want you to go up and make a sacrifice of Isaac on this big mountain. And he goes up, and Isaac on the way says, hey, Dad. It's amazing to think that.
Yep.
Hey, Dad, where's the sacrifice? And Abraham says, God will supply. God will supply. And we see he goes up the hill, and that's what happens here. And as a result, in the end, he's about to sacrifice Isaac. And then God actually intervenes, and there's a ram caught in a thicket that takes his place.
Yep.
Very much like Jesus there. And it says here in verse 22 of James 2, you see his faith and his actions work together, and his actions made his faith complete. And that's why it says here, Abraham believed God and God counted him as righteous because of his faith. And I love this piece, Andy. It says he was even called the friend of God.
It's cool, isn't it?
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
And God has no favourites.
He doesn't.
So we are friends of God.
We are, if we have faith. And this is the next verse here that really messed with Luther's head. So verse 24, you see then that a man is justified by works and not by faith only. Now, that just messed with his head.
I can understand
But I know what James was saying. James was obviously talking to a bunch of people who were passive in their faith. In other words, they said, I believe in God. But what James is saying, well, if you believe in God, your life should reflect that. I think we can use that language. So he's saying works, but I just say your life will reflect that. Because the Bible says earlier in James that even the demons believe and they tremble at his name. Now, of course, you've done Abraham. I'm doing Rahab because
awesome.
I've loved the story of Rahab since I was a brand new Christian. I related to Rahab. She was an outsider. She wasn't brought up in Israel. She was brought up in Jericho. Look, she was a prostitute. We don't know the cultural background to that. It may have been an acceptable occupation in her generation. We don't know, but she was a prostitute. The Israeli spies come to her. And in her heart, she just believes that God is going to, bring to pass his promise to them that they're going to get all this land.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what? I want to be a part of this crew. I'm going to leave my old life, my old culture, everything I've been brought up to believe, and I'm going to believe in the God of these guys. And so she hides the spies, and then they tell her, you've got to do something though, Rahab. You can't just tell us you believe.
True.
You've got to do something. What did they tell her to do?
You have to put that red ribbon outside your window and leave it there until they came back. And that wasn't quick.
Yeah.
There was a bit of time elapsed.
Yeah.
But the red ribbon hold outside of, because she was living on the edge of the city, would be the sign that's where she lived, and none of the Israelites, when they came back to take over the city, would be allowed to touch her family.
Yeah. So again, she did something, and so James is messing with all of our heads, saying, so it's the works that's justifying us as well as the faith. But the reality is, she only hung the red cord in the window because she believed.
Sure.
And Abraham only offered up his son because he believed. And so for today, for you and I, Phil, if we're Christians, if we really believe in Jesus, we have to follow the teachings of Jesus. We have to do what he said. We have to adopt it into our lifestyle. Now, those choices will not save us because they're actions.
Yes.
But the actions are a reflection of our faith. So really, in summary, what chapter 2 is all about is James is saying, hey, if you've got a genuine faith, your life will eventually reflect that faith, and you will make choices that line up with the word of God because you believe. So faith comes first, no doubt about it.
Definitely.
But the actions should come second. So if someone says they're a Christian, but their life's no different to a worldly person, their life hasn't changed after 5-10 years, I would say there's something wrong with that faith. And that's what James is trying to say as well. Your faith eventually will transform your life.
It's interesting, isn't it? And we don't expect people to be perfect the second they're saved. I think that's really important as well.
It takes time sometimes.
It's a process as you read the word of God and God works in your heart, which is exciting as well, the outworking of your salvation.
But like I said, after 5, even 10 years, if your life hasn't changed at all, then you might need to go back to your original faith and say, okay, did I really believe in Jesus? Did I really repent of my sins? Have I really turned away from my old life? Because eventually God will empower you to change.
And that's a good reason to be plugged into a church, to be reading your Bible, is that then God is working in your life. Wonderful. That is James 2. I think we've wrapped it up now.
It's deep, Phil.
We're going to James
It's a deep
3
chapter.
tomorrow. It's an interesting one, the next one. It has to do with your tongue. And I remember reading the controlling of the tongue piece in James 3 and putting it away, putting it aside, because that is tough. The next chapter. We'll be going there. We'll be going there tomorrow on Rise and Shine. Today, though, we are on the lookout. If you're a costume-making person,
yes,
we would love to hear from you. Give us a buzz, 1-800-316-316. It's book week time again. Unfortunately for me, I thought I was done with it, but we're back.
It's back, Phil.
It's back. So we are on the lookout for last-minute costume ideas, or fails, or wins. Are you a costume maker? Give us a call, send us a text, or jump onto Facebook. But get involved this morning on Rise and Shine.
Always encouraging and always fun. Rise and Shine on Vision.
Look, I need a bit extra grace this morning because something has come back into my world which I thought was done and dusted.
You thought you'd moved on, Phil.
I thought you know when your kids are growing up and you're like, well, I miss this. No, I will not miss Book Week.
Book Week.
I definitely thought when Millie, my youngest, had finished primary, I was done forever. I put away the costumes. In fact, the costumes that we have left are in this very high cupboard, up and out of the way. I thought I was done.
Yep.
No problem. And then last week, when kids come home, guess what, Mum? Book week's back.
So your kid's high school.
They've pulled it
has
back in.
Brought book week back, I should say.
It's like, are you serious? Are you kidding me right now? So as a result, I was out running around last night trying to find ears for Bella's Year 12 book week costume. Can't believe it.
It is hard to believe they're making grade 12 dress up. Surely some studies have been done on this, Phil, that book week does encourage kids to read more. Surely. Education, Queensland or New South Wales, whatever state you're in, they've got some data to back up the fact that going to all this effort and dressing up actually encourages, people to read books.
I'm glad that you're a data-driven person.
Well, I'm just analysing this because to me it's all a little bit bizarre, to be honest with you.
Well, it is. It's bigger than Ben-Hur. Like, if you thought Ben-Hur was big, you should see Book Week at your local primary school. But we have put it out on Facebook at Rise and Shine and also in the Rise and Shine group. Adrian had a great idea. It said, go as the Invisible Man and just don't go.
I love that. Adrian, respect. I adopted that policy many times in high school, Adrian. I was Invisible Man at school a lot.
You thought that was a good idea? I thought Christine has said that she's a staff member at a school and everyone there wore a different, were parts of the Very Hungry Caterpillar. So they were all dressed in black. She's popped a photo up. And they've got these green pieces to be the body and just carry a piece of like a fruit. Most of it's fruit.
Yep.
An apple, a banana, there you go.
Yep.
But it did make me think a couple of years, Millie's last year or second last year, I think, of primary school when we were still doing it. In the school holidays, I was busily Googling what would be the easiest costume because that's where my brain goes to me. I'm that parent. I'm like, how easy can I do it?
Yep.
And I thought 101 Dalmatians.
Oh, yeah.
Go as a dog, Millie.
Okay.
Like you just wear the white T-shirt, we draw on some black spots.
Yep.
Black shorts, you're done. You're a dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Done.
No cap, no shoes.
Oh, well, you have to wear shoes to school.
Like
School
black
shape
shoes?
looks black shoes. That's all good. And off she went to school. I was like giving myself a little pat on the back. Brilliant mum.
Thinking you were creative.
We walk into class, lo and behold, the entire of grade 5, all of the teachers and teaching staff.
Everyone.
They're all 101 Dalmatians. That day, it was like the whole school was 101 I was like, no, Millie's like, oh, I'm not special. No, you're special. You're still special. No, you're the specialist of all of the 101.
The
They
most
literally
special.
were.
You're the best Dalmatian
there. Whoops. There you go. So easy costumes, not always the best.
Yeah, well, speaking of black and white costumes, Phil,
Yeah.
we do digress here. I had to go to a church event once. I was the pastor, mind you. I
Yes.
can't remember the context.
Oh, no.
And it was in a public place.
Yes.
And I dressed up as a nun. Yes.
Black and white.
I went
Andy.
I went to one of those costume shops and I borrowed a costume as a nun. And let me say, I was a big hit, Phil. When the pastor turned up dressed as a nun, people liked it.
Well, they would have been intently listening.
No, I wasn't talking. It was
You
it
just-
was
oh,
it was some
costume.
sort of party. We were raising money for something, and all I remember is one of my young guys in the church, one of the young adults, him and I having a bit of a dance. And it was pretty funny. He was dancing with the nun, and the nun was the pastor. So.
Oh, no. Well, that is certainly something you'd never forget. Oh, but costumes are fun. Like, I remember, and one of our favourites, we love this.
Oh, the Flintstones.
We love a bit of a Flintstone. And Lee was
Cartoon.
telling, I do remember a youth camp, and they gave us black paper plastic bags,
Yes.
some gaffer tape.
Yep.
And then they sent us off. You've got 1 hour to make a costume. You have to wear that night. And as a teenager, you do want to look okay.
Yeah.
So we put on bathers, of course, and other clothes underneath.
Yeah.
When there's a Flintstone,
Okay.
the plastic bag actually looks a bit like
Which
the
character?
Flintstone.
Were you Pebbles or were you Wilma? Which one?
I think I would have gone as Wilma.
You were Wilma.
I would have been the mum.
But her outfit wasn't black though, was it?
In my head, everyone was black. You only had black to work with.
It's all about
so
the way the dress
it was cut.
falls. Yeah, you've got to cut it.
And
you know?
on the side, she had that cool side.
Prehistoric
piece.
style.
I'm sure that was prehistoric.
Now, you earlier said black paper bag instead of black
I
plastic
did.
bag, and I corrected you. Well, you know what? Someone's corrected me, Phil. One of our listeners, Brooke, has actually texted in and said, hey, Phil and Andy, I was just listening on my way to work, and I'm in the back of my car in Billawheeler, and I've got 3 black paper bags from the local Drake's
Get
supermarket.
out.
So at Drake's supermarket, Billawheeler, which is in Queensland, they have black paper bags. I'd like to see one of these. I would love a black paper bag. That's so cool.
It's easy to make Andy happy this morning.
Yes.
Send in a black paper
Well, I don't know
bag.
about you. I like paper bags. I
Do
prefer
you?
cardboard and paper than plastic, don't
Well,
you?
good on you. That's good for the
They
environment.
don't last very long. They're hopeless.
No, well, the stuff falls through
The
the
modern
bottom of
shopping
it.
bags are dead set hopeless. Just putting it out there. There's a love-hate relationship there, but they're good for burning. If you want to start a fire, they're way better for fires.
I don't start a lot of fires,
Oh,
so
come on, Phil. You got to have a fire pit, backyard, fire pit maybe, or go camping.
Okay. Yeah, no, look, it's a whole different
We are
conversation.
digressing again.
But anyway, the call is out there today, 1800 316 316. We need some last-minute costume ideas, or have you been blindsided by Book Week like I have? Give us a call, get involved, get in touch. You can also jump over onto Facebook. Coming up next, though, we've got Amy Townsend joining us on Rise and Shine.
Yes.
Incredible assistant pastor. She's a speaker, and we're loving what she has to say about everyday discipleship, particularly when you're in that season of life where there's young kids. It's tough, Andy.
It is for mums and dads. And just the thought of Amy being at Freshwater Beach there, pastoring a little church, I thought,
it's more about
oh, that sounds so nice. I want to be there.
A little bit of waves from Amy this morning.
Love the Rise and Shine podcast? Tell a friend today.
Well, on the lines today, Phil, we have got Amy Townsend. She is the assistant pastor of St Mark's Anglican Church in Freshwater, Sydney. She also serves on the faculty of a Bible and Missionary Alliance and college in Sydney, Phil. And she's a mum with 2 very small kids. And she joins us now. Amy, welcome to Rise and Shine.
Thanks for having me.
Amazing, Amy, to hear. Before we do want to dive in and get you to share a devotion with us this morning, but before we do, I'd love to know a bit more about you. Tell us about how you got saved. Have you always been a Christian?
Well, I'd say that I have always believed in God, but I didn't meet the Lord Jesus until high school.
Okay.
So very thankfully, even though my family wasn't Christian, my mum did see the value of Christianity and kind of let us go along to youth group, kids club, and Christian SRE in schools.
Mm-hmm.
So I started as a very diligent person, and I was like, I want to learn what they're saying, and I want to memorize the Bible verses, and I want to do the craft really well. Just a little bit of a snapshot of my personality.
I think we could be quite similar, actually, there, Amy.
But yes, I hadn't really understood the gospel of grace or the person of Jesus. And then I went on a camp when I was in high school, and just an immersive experience amongst other believers, hearing consistent talks each day. And then on the final day, the speaker actually sang a song. And it was from the perspective of the robber who hung on the cross next to Jesus.
Mm.
And it went through just what Jesus had done through his life, death, and resurrection. But then actually the song concluded with Jesus' triumphant return, the return that we're all still awaiting, where he's going to come back King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and to gather his people to himself, bringing about the new heaven and the new earth. And it clicked. I was like, wow, Jesus is Lord, and he loves me, and he has done this huge work on the cross for me, and he's coming back, and I need to be on Team Jesus.
Wow. So can we just stop there? That all happened in a song when you were listening to someone sing a song.
And you know what? So sad. I cannot for the life of me remember what the song is.
Well, it might be Man on the Middle in the Middle Cross, but, you know, that's really interesting. So has worship now played a real role in your faith and your faith development, would you say? Because God kind of encountered you through a worship song.
Absolutely. Like I love singing, and I think there's something very powerful about music in the way that it helps us to remember things. You hear testimonies of that, of, you know, believers who've lived their whole lives. And, you know, my friend's grandmother, she had dementia in her final 10 years.
Yes.
And what she could remember was Christian hymns. Yeah. Couldn't remember her own children or grandchildren, but she could remember Christian hymns.
And now with your kids, like I think with my kids, that was a big part of particularly when they're home with me. And we have Vision Kids here, so a stream just for kids. Well, I listen as well, but, you know, with kids' music, it's important, isn't it? Like the telling of the story in the gospel through song is so powerful at any age.
And it reminds us that God has made us as embodied beings. So sometimes, you know, if we can't read his word, if we can't even come to him in prayer, if there might be some obstacles or blockages, I think song is a beautiful way to commune with God.
Sure is, Amy. So let's fast forward now. And it's such a long answer, I'm sure. But how does Amy, who gets saved at a camp through a song, how does she become the assistant pastor of St Mark's Anglican Church in Freshwater, Sydney? Did God start calling you to ministry fairly soon after that as well?
Not at all. I actually found my early years of following Jesus really difficult. I didn't have role models. I didn't know what I was doing. It wasn't until I moved out with some beautiful Christian housemates in my early 20s that I saw the gospel in action in big and small ways in everyday life. That was radical transformation for me. So then I just plodded along going to church, and then I kind of just happened to go to quite small churches where there was just one minister. And then I actually started going to a church plant that had young men and women as student ministers at Bible college. And that just shocked me. I said, particularly to the women, what are you doing? Like, these girls have become my friends, and some of them were interested in chaplaincy, some of them were interested in mission. Then the Lord said on my heart what Jesus says, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. And I was just like, what? But there's not enough workers? There's harvest, but not workers? Oh, I could do that. I'll give it a go. So, yeah, I started going to SMBC and began a theological degree. And I did an MTS ministry apprenticeship at my church. And then fast forward, here I am.
Just the right mix of things to inspire and things to make you smile. Rise and shine on Vision.
It's wonderful to have you, because one of the topics that you like to chat about is everyday discipleship, which for me is just gold, because you think when you're a busy mum and then you're working as well and you're doing so much in your life, sometimes your relationship with God you just run out of space for it. What is everyday discipleship?
Well, let's stop there, Phil. Tell us about your kids, Amy. How old are your kiddies?
Well, my daughter is a little bit over 4 and my son is 18 months.
Oh, see, that is very busy.
You are busy.
That is, I remember.
We're in the trenches.
The kiddie trenches.
And I remember when they were little and thinking, I need to have a quiet time, but there is no quiet time. Like, that is a busy house. Even your bathroom time is busy when you've got 2 littlies like that.
So going back to Phil's question then, let's talk about daily discipleship. Because, hey, a lot of us are in the space you're in right now. I'm not, but I was once with little kids. Tell us about that, Amy. What does that look like?
Yeah, well, I think it rubs against my personality because I'm a bit of an all or nothing person. I've always been like, if you don't go to the gym 5 days a week, well, there's no point going, you know? I really thrive on like Mondays. I really thrive on the first day of the month or the first day of the year. But as we all know, life gets in the way and then I just often, fall off the cliff and give up on everything. So it's been a real discipline for me to go actually with God. He is with us and his grace kind of sinks into every moment of every day, even Fridays, not just Mondays. And so for me, it's been about creating micro practices. And lowering my expectation of if you don't do this every day, it's not good enough. So, Christian life, it's about putting on lots of good and godly things and putting off things that are not in alignment with God or are going to help us in our faith. Would you like me to unpack some ideas there? Or?
Definitely. Micro practices. I like the sound of that because it sounds achievable. If you could just find one micro practice. Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, I guess it's just, especially in something like parenthood where you really only have moments, it's, my preference would be to sit down and read the Bible for an hour with my pens and my notes and my highlighters.
And maybe put some worship music on and just bask in his presence. Yes.
But that's really not a reality. And so rather than just going, well, I can't do it the way I really want to do it right now, I just won't read the word at all. It comes to things like, what does it look like to just grab a little bit of scripture, to put on audio Bible while I'm driving? As you said just then, Andrew, to listen to the word, whether that's through audio Bible or through song or through a sermon or a podcast or something like that. So what does it look like to just put on? But I think also, everyday discipleship is holistic. It's not just about those spiritual practices and disciplines, which are so important, but God delights when we bring our whole selves to him. And so, the Bible upholds community. How do our social practices, our community practices enhance and contribute to our Christian life? Or last year I wrote a theology of exercise. How does the way I use my body, how can I honor God and bring him glory when I'm at the gym or pushing the pram or out for a walk? So I think it's good to view everyday discipleship not as just our spiritual practice, but our whole selves. And that just opens up a world of bringing God glory and doing good for ourselves and others.
That is so good, Amy. I like what you said earlier. So it sounds to me like you've just accepted that in this season of life, you can't do as much as you want to do, but you've just got to know that God's for you, He's with you, His grace is sufficient for you. Is that what you were saying earlier?
Absolutely. Like, He's present in those moments. And, there's wonderful literature out there, like a book, Every Moment Holy, which, has liturgy for changing nappies. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, God is in the mess with us. That's the whole undercurrent of the gospel, is we can't actually, we come to Him empty-handed. And so, it's not in alignment with the gospel if we go, well, I need my house clean and my kids sorted and my best mind before I come to the Lord. No. Jesus has come in the flesh. He's met us in our mess, and He loves it. And what beauty there is in the gospel that says that.
Amy, you are a voice to the mums everywhere, can I just say?
And to the dads, Phil.
Well, yes, exactly. I can only speak for the mums because I have been there in the mess, and it's such an encouragement to us today. Thank you so much. I wonder, maybe we can call you back in a couple of weeks and you could give us some more of these micro ideas, because they're brilliant. Don't you think,
I love
Andy?
talking
Micro
about
practices. Yeah. And look, if you're in the Sydney area near Freshwater Beach, which is a beautiful part of the world, near where I grew up, St Mark's Anglican Church sounds like a great place to visit if you're looking for a church, because Amy Townsend, who just joined us now, is the assistant pastor there. Sister Amy, thank you so much for joining us this morning on Rise and Shine.
God bless you guys. Take care.
I've heard of all-day breakfast on the menu, but here's a brekkie show available 24/7. Thanks for streaming the Rise and Shine Daily Podcast.
If you live in Aramac in Queensland.
Aramac?
So,
I haven't heard of that one.
Okay, well, do you know where Emerald is in Queensland?
I do.
Or Longreach?
Yes.
Or Charters Towers?
Yep.
If you drew like a triangle, it would be in the middle of there. It would be Aramac. And it's got a wonderful, rich history. In fact, it's kind of cool because it was firstly known as Marathon, maybe because it felt like a marathon to get there. But the town was later renamed after Robert Ramsay Mackenzie, who first explored the area and carved his name, Aramac, into a tree.
There you go.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. They obviously found a tree later on and went, that's his, he claimed it with that by putting his initials on it. And Aramac is now the name of the town.
But it was called Marathon before that.
It was called Marathon.
I wonder why. Maybe, like you said, it was because it felt like running a marathon getting there. It probably did.
It could well have. But quite interesting. They had, there was an infamous, Harry was his name, a drover, and a cattle duffer who stole cattle was also famous in the area. His name as like a bad guy was Captain Starlight. Which is what you think if you're going to have a bad guy name, it's not the name that I would go for.
Was he a bushranger? Was he known as a bushranger,
well,
or just a cattle?
He stole a white bull from the Bowen Downs, and which nearly proved his undoing. So there was something obviously amiss with some of his behaviour.
Yeah.
But he was known as Captain Starlight, which doesn't put a lot of terror into you.
Because he obviously stole the cattle under the stars. That's why. That's what I'm reading into that name. Yeah, Captain Starlight.
Oh, okay.
He operated at night.
Because I'm like, Captain Starlight, or he could almost be a good guy. But there you go. Apparently he wasn't. But there is a big white bull as a result, as part of that story. They're in Aramac. Let's have a look at the weather. 14 degrees today, heading up to 31. And of course, one of our wonderful Vision towns as well. 88 FM is the frequency you're listening along to us on. Good morning.
There is a lot of interesting history in country Australia, Phil. And a lot of it's untold as well. Not as famous as the American history, like the Wild West, but, colonial Australia, it was an interesting place.
It was.
My great-grandmother, who I don't really remember, I think I was 3 when she passed, she used to tell my auntie, who's told me the stories, that when swagmen, the jolly swagmen that we all romanticise, she said when swagmen came to the area, they were country people were really suspicious of them.
Were they?
Well, because sometimes they were bad people. Sometimes things would get stolen, even worse things would happen. And so she said in her area of Australia, when a swagman came into the district, people weren't happy. They wanted them to move on because they didn't trust them, which completely contradicts the old Jolly Swagman song, doesn't it? That we've romanticised.
Jolly.
Well, some of them were. Well, think about it. Some of them probably were dodgy.
Well, they probably were. There's a reason they're roaming.
That's right. But you know what? I got a Bible verse, Phil. Good. Now, we've been talking about the book of James since last week, so I want to revisit chapter 1 of the book of James. It's probably one of the most famous verses in the book of James. It's in chapter 1, and it says in verse 2, "My brethren," and it's a verse I don't like, Phil, but it says this, "Count it all joy when you fall into various trials." Talk about the glass being half full, Phil. James is saying, hey, when you go through a trial, count it joy.
Yeah.
Count it joy. Now, why? Because he says the testing of your faith actually produces perseverance. In other words, it develops character, Phil.
It does. And because
I don't want to hear that, Phil. Do you want to hear that? Isn't there an easier way to get character? Can I go through a drive-through or something and get some? I'll have some character, a cheeseburger and a sundae, please. Wouldn't that be
and
easy?
Some joy, thanks.
That's right.
It's one of those verses that and like we were saying, James has some tough verses in it, which you'd rather not read.
That's right.
But there you go.
Well, Luther didn't like
reading it. It's in the Bible, isn't it?
That's right.
But it is true, isn't it? That idea that, hey, in the middle, but as a Christian, that's the difference. We're talking about, hey, as a Christian, your life may be different and should be different to someone else.
It is.
And part of that is that when you're going through something, there's a joy in you because of a hope that's in you that others don't have.
Yeah.
And it becomes something that's clear to others around you.
And the glass is always half full, isn't it?
It's always half full.
Because no matter what happens, Phil, we all have our names written in that Lamb's Book of Life, and that's our eternal hope.
There's an eternity that's awaiting for you, and that's the good news.
Subscribe and listen to the Rise and Shine podcast in the free Vision app. It's easy and available everywhere.
It is a little bit cray-cray. I'm still grappling with the thought of a grade 12 kid having to dress up for book week because they're almost adults. They're almost ready for the real world.
They are. Belle turned 18 last year.
And we're dragging them back into this thing, this dressing up thing.
It's true. Yesterday I took her shopping and I said, and she was like, the first thing adulting that I'm having to do is to find rabbit ears for my costume
exactly.
for high school.
Where does this end, Phil?
This is not adulting, really. Is it? Although, as adults we do dress up too and it is a bit of fun. But we put the call out there this morning. Have you got involved in book week? Maybe you've got a tale to tell, or perhaps you've got a good last-minute costume idea for us. We've put it on Facebook. Lots of great comments coming through. In fact, Heather, she says when her youngest was in prep, his book week theme was on the farm. So they talked about being a farmer for ages. Got it already on the last night before he said, I need a tractor. So suddenly they're making up a tractor out of a cardboard box. Apparently it went very well at that last minute putting it together. So well done to Heather.
Well, sounds like Heather's hubby's very industrious. He's made a tractor in one night.
Out of a box with a John Deere badge on the side. Apparently he wore it around the house for weeks. So they got lots of wear out of that box. But well done to these innovative parents across the country. We have got on the line here though. I can see I've got Kate here. Now, Kate, you work in childcare as well, so you've been doing this for a year, but I think this is the first time that your little one's in prep. Tell us what it's like being on the other side now as a parent.
Well, my daughter wanted to go as Rey from Star Wars, so that was a challenge, but we actually did an op shop hunt the weekend before, and we actually nailed the costume. I'm really proud of it. And only going one day was fun because the 2-year-old goes 5 days, and I also dress up as well. So it's lots of fun. It's a great week.
So do you mean normally at the kindy you wear a different costume every day for a week?
Yeah, we love getting into it. So the option is that parents can, because obviously most children don't go 5 days a week, so they can just participate on the days they're there.
Okay.
And the whole centre gets involved, all my educators dressed up. We had a really, really fun week actually, and what a great reason getting children to love literature. So it's great.
So how do you feel as a mum like myself when you go off literature and you're like, it's not in a book anymore? But I don't care. I'm just dressing.
There's always a book.
There is
always a book. I went as Maverick from Top Gun, and there's actually a book. And so I printed out the front cover and pretended I had the book.
Just to prove. You went as Maverick. Well done.
How cool are you? That is so cool. Did the kids who know who you were?
No idea, but the parents loved it.
The parents, yeah.
Okay, what has been the best and the worst of the costume? Like, you probably can't say worst because no costume is really bad, but have you had a best costume?
Top Gun was pretty good.
Yeah.
Slinky Malinky is always a go-to because it's just basically some cat ears, some eyeliner for whiskers and a nose, and a black outfit.
Oh, I like
that. But
you sound like a pro. Can I just say, you sound like a pro.
Yeah.
We need you on speed dial.
The educators at my daughter's daycare, and she goes down the road, the same company but a different centre. All the educators were all dressed top to toe in different colours, and then they just printed out the crayons label and stuck it to their front.
Smart.
And there's heaps of crayon books, but one of them is talking about the different emotions of crayons. It's a great book.
Ooh,
but anyway, there you go. Colour, sticker on the front, done.
Okay, look, can we just ask for people who maybe don't have kids yet, haven't yet had kids, or maybe they're a little bit older and Book Week wasn't a thing when their kids were young, tell us about the pressure about Book Week, about the pressure with these costumes. Talk us through that.
It's very real.
Turn the pressure into a positive. and get excited about it.
Oh,
Go and shop the Reject Shop and all those different shops. It's a great time to shop after Halloween.
Yeah.
All the sales are on, so for different costumes. Get a few just basic items, cat ears, a tail, a fairy dress, a superhero costume. Just make it easy, but make it fun, because at the end of the day, it's about getting children to love books and reading and learning, and that's all that matters.
Look at you go.
You are a pro.
You're a pro. Andy, I've almost got Andy dressed up here now.
Nothing. We'll give it. She's getting the cat ears out as we speak. The whiskers.
The tail is definitely coming on. That is brilliant. Thank you for calling and encouraging us this morning. Love it.
No problem at all. Anytime.
Oh, thank you so much. Loving that from Kate.
Brought to you by the generosity of Vision family members across Australia and around the world. The Rise and Shine
Top of
podcast.
every hour, we highlight a different Vision town. And it's always cool when we get a call then from that area, don't you reckon?
Yeah, well, you mentioned a town I'd never heard of. Now, I've heard of a lot of towns in Australia. Aramac, I'd not heard of that one, Phil. And you gave me the background that it was actually called Marathon originally, which was really interesting to me.
Well, it is interesting because it now is called Aramac after the original explorer who was there. His name, and he is Robert Ramsay Mackenzie, R.R. Mac, and he'd actually initialed that onto a tree. But it used to be called Marathon, which we'd said maybe it's because it's a marathon to get there. But why is it?
Well, one of our listeners decided to give us a call, didn't they, Phil?
Yeah,
and let us know exactly what the story is.
Yeah, well, that's right. And we've got Michael. You're on the line now. Now, Michael, you've got some background to the original name Marathon and where it came from. Where does Marathon originally come from?
The Battle of Marathon was 490 BC, named King Darius, who is in the Bible.
He is.
Yes, true. He
yeah,
is.
Yeah. So, yeah.
He turned up to Greece uninvited, didn't he?
He did.
I wonder why they named it
6,000 men.
Oh. I wonder why they named it Little Country Town in the middle of Queensland after the battle.
Well, frankly, they were running out of names. And, they
were digging the bottom of the barrel.
They had enough Stony Creeks and,
Dead Tree, Stump.
Road.
That's it.
Those kind of
Snake
places.
Gully.
So Marathon, they were like looking at old battles then and just pulling them out.
Or you never know. One of the early farmers might have been a Greek. You never know. He might have loved the story of Marathon.
Could have been. I thought maybe it was because it took a marathon to get there because it was so far away.
Well,
no.
Look, I mean, that's an Australian way to look at things, obviously.
I suppose. Oh, well, look, thank you for filling us in on it this morning. Brilliant information.
No, it's my pleasure.
Oh, so good. There you go. So Aramac, if you'd wondered where Marathon comes from, Michael says it's from a battle. And it was the last of the names. I mean, what came next after that when you do think it's a big job having to name towns?
Well, and, in the 19th century, Australians, and especially the English, were really inspired by ancient Greece. So a lot of English thought and philosophy and ideas came from ancient Greece. So he's right. I mean, a lot of our inspiration did come from that classical era in Greek history.
There you go. Well, if you've ever wondered, if we do the weather from your part of the world, we'd love you to give us a call as well.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me Vision's breakfast show is now available around the clock and on demand? Incredible! The Rise and Shine podcast.
That's right. This is the time of day where every day we grab a piece of toast, we pop it in a toaster, and while it's cooking, we ask 10 simple questions.
That's right. You've got 60 seconds to answer those 10 easy questions, Phil.
And on the line, I've got Beck. Morning.
Good morning.
Now, I'm pretty excited to chat to you because you knew Andy in his younger days, I'm told.
Yes. We've known each other for over 35 years.
You
have. 40. Yeah,
which is mathematically challenging because I identify as a 25-year-old, so I don't know how that quite works.
You're going to have to get some healing there, Andrew, because,
Thank you, Beck. Thank you. And I would agree with you. What was 16-year-old Andy like, Beck?
He was actually an amazing... He and I were just like brother and sister, best friends.
Aww.
And so we were kind of family to each other, wouldn't you say, Andrew?
Definitely. We were both living in Manly in Sydney and attending youth group together and church together.
Dressing up. And we're talking about dress-ups today, so I'm trying to imagine what that...
I don't remember any dress-ups back then, Beck, but where are you now, Beck? Tell our audience where you actually live now.
I am in the Blue Mountains, in New South
Oh,
Wales.
Beck.
It's gorgeous.
We need to
yeah.
come and live do a broadcast from your place.
Oh, yeah, you'd love it. It's beautiful.
It sounds like the dream.
Well, Beck, have you had any toast this morning out of interest?
I have actually. Well, does English muffins count?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
They're probably
There you
they're
go.
better.
There you go. That's what I had this morning.
What did you have on your English muffins?
I had an egg and some ham.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, 'cause my brain immediately goes to McDonald's, where I used to have those McMuffins
Yes.
things.
Oh,
Yours is
yeah.
better, though. I mean, that's real. Not.
Did you put any butter on there as well, Beck, or
Oh,
just the egg and the bacon and the ham?
Just the egg and the ham.
Okay.
Straight. No
We're coming to
condiments?
Beck's house. If I'm not here in the next hour, I'm just flying down.
It's a long way.
Beck, are you ready to play Beat the Toaster?
Not really.
No,
but I'm
then
gonna do it.
perfect.
I'll
Well,
do
you
it.
know
I
what?
love you.
Your name starts with B, so the letter today is B. You're going to be asked 10 simple questions, Beck, and you've got to answer every one of these questions with the letter B. You've got 60 seconds, and remember, if you can answer all these questions correctly, you will be receiving a prize sent to you post-haste in the mail today. Are you ready, Beck?
I'm so excited. I'm ready.
Okay. Your time starts now.
A musical instrument.
Bassoon.
There you go. A children's character.
Barney.
A TV show.
Can I come back to that one?
An item worn above the waist.
A belt.
Something with a tail.
A bird.
The name of a river.
The Belgrade River in Montana.
Something you see at the beach.
A ball.
An occupation.
Barrister.
A 5-letter word.
Bask. A bask. As in with
Yep. Something hot.
bun.
A TV show.
Quick. I can't think of it. I can't think of one. Can you give me a hint?
Oh, Beck.
It was so good. Beck, you're a legend at this game.
Brady Bunch, Bondi Rescue.
We
been good.
Beck,
think of it.
Very impressive.
I thought you had it, Beck. You were on fire.
You were on fire, but you are winning at life. So let's just go with that.
I am. I'm kind of a big deal. So,
You are kind of a big deal. I was also thinking.
I have heard that before from a young Andy.
Yeah, you probably don't watch TV. That's your issue. I don't either. I only watch YouTube now. So
I don't watch TV. So it's weird to try to think of anything.
It is, but you did brilliantly. You're a winner in our book. So,
Oh, thanks.
Beck, well done.
so close and yet so far,
So
Beck.
far, but
Story
close
of my
enough.
life, mate. Story of my life.
Beck, thanks so much for playing with us.
Great day.
I've heard of all-day breakfast on the menu, but here's a brekkie show available 24/7. Thanks for streaming the Rise and Shine Daily Podcast.
Look, it is book week time again. And for some, people love it. Like we have heard from people throughout the day how wonderful book week can be. Kate, for example, it brings so much joy to her centre with all the kids.
People love it. People hate it, Phil.
Well, yes.
Which side of the fence are you on?
I'm leaning towards the dislike.
The hate?
Although, no,
You can
look-
say the word, Phil.
Oh,
It's
well,
okay.
no, it's not. Hate is too hard.
The Bible even says God hates sin, so you were allowed to hate certain things.
No, look, it's fun.
Not saying it's a sin, but you know.
Yeah, it's the pressure of it. I just don't like. I don't like extra pressure on top of, because we talk in our family about having tabs open in your head. So I say to Murray, it helped us actually in our marriage that because I work and I've got the kids and there's and every kid has their own things going. So as a mum, it's like a browser and a web browser, but there's tabs open for all of the different things that have to be done.
Wow.
And sometimes your computer gets to capacity. There's too many tabs and it just crashes.
Wow.
So now I say to Murray, he goes,
I feel tired just listening to that.
yeah,
Phil.
well, Murray
That's
says,
wearing
how
me
many
out.
tabs have you got open? And I'm like, he goes, which tabs can I take?
Oh, that's
And so I'll
nice.
give him some tabs.
Okay.
And theoretically, I'm supposed to shut those tabs then to give more capacity.
And do
see?
you let go, Phil? Do
I
you
try.
let Murray run with it?
Mostly. I'm better at that now. Mostly I do. That is the question of the day. But no, he's a very good tab taker. But that's as a result, once you've got these costumes, that adds an extra tab. It's very real.
Another layer.
It's another tab, Andy. And if you've got 3 kids, 3 tabs, it's a lot of pressure.
It's feeling to me like you're leaning towards the hate instead of the love here, Phil. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I could be wrong.
You're calling it.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Well, maybe. Anything that engages kids in reading is not always bad, of course. But you've shared costumes that are marginal at best.
I dressed up as a nun once for a good cause. We were raising money for a church event. I was the pastor.
Yes.
And I just decided to dress up as a nun that particular day. And it was a successful event, I'll say that.
You made money for the good cause.
For a good cause, that's right. That's what it was all about.
That's what we're all about here. Well, look, I've got Kaz on the line. She wants to weigh in.
Mm-hmm.
Kaz, you've got some thoughts about costumes?
Yes. Talking about nuns, I went on a cruise with Mum and Dad, and I was none the wiser.
Kaz, what's your favourite dress up? What's been your favourite dress up over the years?
Oh, okay. So for my 40th, me and my husband went as the Monsters, Lily and Herman Monster.
I love it. I love it.
Did you have a bolt?
What's that?
Was there a bolt hanging out of one of your
There
heads?
was bolts. There was 4 heads and everything. It was so cool. My husband dressed up, and he had his face done by one of our makeup artists here in Whyalla. She was so good.
Yeah.
And she actually put a fake forehead on him.
Oh.
And he was cooking charcoal chicken, and he came up to me at one stage and he said, my forehead's melting.
My forehead is melting.
Because of the heat.
Oh, no.
Did they make him green, or was he just a normal skin colour, the face?
Oh.
Oh, no, he was really motley, like horrible looking, like whitish sort of. Yeah,
like a white ghoul. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. He was so cool though. He had these shoes on, and they were like, even taller than the ladies' shoes they used to wear back in the 70s or 60s or whatever when they were platform shoes.
Oh, no. Teddy, you do okay on those? Because that's always the trouble. If you're not used to heels and then you're plodding around on them.
He's not a dancer. So
no, you'd come off them.
And he definitely wasn't a dancer that night.
No.
Oh, dear. Oh, very funny. Well, Kaz, we love a good costume here.
Yes, we do.
That's inspired this morning. Thank you for giving us a buzz.
You're welcome. No worries.
There you go. Well, lots of great costume ideas today. And if you want to join the conversation, Facebook is still going. There are lots of them. Jen has put a comment over on Facebook. One year my son wasn't willing to dress up, so I made a book cover out of cardboard and just popped it on top of him like a sandwich board. I love that.
That's cool. Well, we've got another one of our listeners, Marianne from Warwick, Queensland, said, I did a last-minute dress-up for my eldest daughter. She wanted to go as the fairy from Fern Gully. So I got a matching top and skirt from the op shop. I cut it down to a fairy costume and made wings from coat hangers.
See, that's where mums become MacGyvers.
Yes.
This is the time where you see MacGyver mum in action.
And they shine.
They shine.
Because as a dad, I don't think I would have had the skill set for that, Phil.
No.
Just putting it out there. I don't think I could have made that particular fairy costume with those materials. It would have been difficult.
You wouldn't have looked at the coat hangers and thought wings.
No.
But that's it. MacGyver mum to the rescue, book week.
Well done, Marianne.
Well, if you want to join the conversation, head over to Facebook. You can jump on there, Rise and Shine, or over in the Rise and Shine Facebook group. More to come, including the top of the hour. We'll do some weather from WA. Where shall we go, do you think, Andy?
Well, having never been there, Phil, I don't know many parts of WA, but I know Bunbury.
Okay.
Have we done that one recently?
Well, Bunbury's a beautiful part of WA. We might head there next. If you've got somewhere in WA you think we should highlight, let us know.
Send us a text.
We're caffeinated and ready to face the day.
This is Rise and Shine on Vision.
And if you live in Bunbury, you're in a gorgeous part of the world, a couple hundred k's south of Perth, listening along on 10:17 a.m, I'm going to say. I think that's the cool way of saying it. Your weather today in Bunbury, as you look out over the gorgeous ocean, is about 10 degrees right now, heading to 15 during the day, but there is a chance of showers, so you need those brollies with you today.
Okay. I chose Bunbury, Phil. It is we're talking about all things book week today. Because as a young fella, I read a book called A Fortunate Life, written by Bert Facey, and he was from Bunbury.
True.
So I've always remembered remembered that he was from Bunbury. That book had a big impact on me in about grade 6 in primary school. So if you want to give your kids a good book to read, A Fortunate Life by Bert Facey. It became a TV miniseries as well.
Really?
In the 80s. Obviously well before my time, Phil, being 25 or identifying as one. But I got a Bible verse, Phil, James chapter 1, verse 5. We've been looking at James today, chapter 2. I want to go back to chapter 1. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach. And guess what, Phil? It will be given to him.
Praise God. I would say that's one of the verses I pray more than any other verse in the Bible.
It's so good.
Wonderful.
And look, speaking of Bible and devotionals and all things the Word of God, one of our guests today, Amy Townsend, she's the assistant pastor of St. Mark's Anglican Church in Freshwater, gave a great devotional today. But there's a bit of trivia about Freshwater I want to highlight,
yes,
Phil.
please.
Surfing was introduced to Australia in 1914 at Freshwater Beach. There was a visiting Hawaiian. Now, his name was Duke Kahanamoko.
Cool name.
And he brought a Malibu surfboard to Australia, and he felt that Freshwater Beach had surf similar to Hawaii, and thousands of people came to the beach that day, and he showed Aussies surfing, and of course everyone loved it, and from that day until now, Aussies have loved surfing. So there's some trivia for you about Freshwater Beach.
Fantastic. Well, there you go.
It's the daily podcast of your favourite Aussie breakfast show, Rise and Shine.
Curtain call, thanks to Bella. Promise is the name of the song.
Yes, Bella working in the law firm. She's studying law and works in a law firm 2 days a week, I think it is, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, Bella, great pick of a song and great to hear. She loves your driving, Andy, so that was very nice.
Well, I just wanted you to hear that, Phil, that I don't have a reputation as a dangerous driver. No, I don't.
Despite what I have physically seen with my own 2 eyes.
You've tried to create the myth, Phil.
I have seen it.
But then in Tassie, as soon as we got to Tassie, got the hire car. I expected Phil to say, Andy, I'm driving. I don't trust you. She's like, oh, Andy, can you drive? No worries, Phil. Here we go.
Like, yeah, whatever. I've got angels. I've been praying for weeks about that.
Well, it worked.
Oh, dear, oh, dear. Well, look, it's the end of the show. Time for us to hand over to the rest of the Vision crew for the day. Tomorrow, Andy, I think I've got something else that we need to bring to the table.
What's that?
Well, I did mention yesterday that my online purchases for Bella's birthday.
Oh, the giant TV you bought.
But they didn't all go well.
No.
So I feel like I need some help that it's not just me.
Well, it sounded like eventually it went well because it was massive.
It was brilliant.
It was just getting there.
Yeah, and look, it was different to what it was expected. Sometimes when you make an online purchase, it doesn't all go well.
Sort of like climbing Mount Everest.
It's a bit like that.
You look at it and think, oh, I could do that.
I do.
How hard could that be?
Literally, I do think that. And then you probably get there and go, oh, I should have done some training for this. And probably Murray was like, I've trained my whole life with Fel for this moment. This is
Poor old Burke and Wills probably thought the same thing as they were cruising out of Melbourne and the streets were lined with people cheering them and saying, yeah, you go for it, you go for it. And they thought it was going to be easy.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy.
Nothing's easy.
Well, some things are easy, but that is certainly not. Like I seem to down like food very easily. Chocolate, for example.
Well, I find that easy.
I find that easy. So there are some things. But anyway, time for us to head off. Leave everyone else with
enough philosophy for one day, hey, Phil?
We'll leave that to others for the day. Whatever you're doing day to day, we pray God's blessing upon it. And we'll be back tomorrow morning.
We will.
On Rise and Shine.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.